Okay, sweet. So what's up, guys? I am actually going to be leading the impact this morning. Hope y'all are having a good day. We're actually going to be talking about the 4 keys to a successful week. Now, before we get started, actually, I would love to hear, quick little challenge, anybody that wants to unmute, where do we find the 4 keys on HQ? Any takers on that one?
You would find it in a couple places, correct? Summit
True.
and sales training.
Yep. Under sales training, if we go towards the script section, we will literally find just about every document that we would need, including 4 cornerstones, 4 keys, all the scripts that we use and all that. But today, we're going to actually go over resources. And I got a couple cool ideas to show you guys. A couple neat things that I learned in Ignite that I'd love to share. But first and foremost, what do you guys think resources means when it comes to this business? Give me a couple ideas at what you guys would consider resources.
Leads.
Leads, true. What's up, Lawanda? Okay.
Trainings.
Trainings, okay.
Leads.
Double down on leads, all right.
The docs, like the scripts.
True. Now, here's the wild part. Senor David says forms.
Coachable.
Okay.
Being coachable.
Coachable, okay. Now, what I want you to be mindful of, I want us to have a clear distinction, and we're going to basically narrow this down throughout the week as we separate each individual key. There is a difference between resources and system. Now, argument can be made, right? Like, technically, everything in the system is resources that we have available, right? But at the end of the day, we're in an industry where, how do we get sales? We got to talk to people, right? We need families to help, by all means. And it's one of those things that we not only have an amazing lead generation system here, but we also have access to other top tier lead vendors that we work with. Now, has anybody worked any lead-based system before Symmetry? Can I get a 1 in the chat if you guys have worked the lead system before Symmetry? Okay, I see Mindy in there. They were garbage, I was about to say. Like, guys, I came from a lead system that, no joke, these were already individuals that whatever they wanted to buy, they already decided no. Those were the leads that I came from. Like, these aren't people that are interested. These are individuals that gave a hardcore no. And then I was told, hey, if you sell 1 out of 100, you're lucky. Go for it. So first of all, I want us to be just kind of take a moment and be grateful, because, guys, the leads that we get are a gold mine. And I've always told people, it doesn't matter if you're looking at a G lead that's over 3 months old. It doesn't matter if you're looking at an A lead that's brand new. Guys, money is money. A good lead is a good lead. Now, I'd actually love to, I'm going to show you guys a quick little example here. Now, can somebody tell me what is the difference between, besides time, what is the difference between a G lead and an A lead? And I'd love to hear this answer out loud. If somebody's wants to get a little on the brave side. Mindy says nothing. Ariana, we love G leads. True.
Price.
I think they're the
Yeah,
same.
cost.
They're a lead.
Cost. True. Joanne, lead is a lead. I did hear cost a couple times. Price. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to ask you guys the same question. What is the difference in this picture, in these pictures that you guys see?
Crap, I don't have my glasses.
Get your glasses.
Training, the work, the time.
One,
Just-
one is currently in the building process and one is being built, or one is already built.
Okay.
The labor to get what you need.
Okay. And I will say, I want you guys to take a hard look.
Diamond is in more in both location.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just now seeing the diamonds.
Joanne. Yeah, I can't with you, Joe.
Diamond is in both location.
So I want y'all to notice there's diamonds in both of those spots. Right?
Right.
That rock that's on the left, you know, for argument's sake, is the same rock that's on the right. There is a diamond in both of those locations. Now, you guys tell me which one is worth more.
They're worth the same. It's the same diamond, right?
Is it? If we find
Well-
a diamond, if we find a diamond underground, are we paying the same amount versus if we go to the store and pay for it with a credit card? Which one do we pay more for?
Pretty
Second
cool.
one.
The one at the store,
The one
Yeah.
at the store.
right? So
Yeah.
I want you to look at these pictures and I want you to consider one of them is an A lead, one of them is a G lead.
Okay.
I want you to be mindful. Lead is a lead, a diamond is a diamond. But at the end of the day, there's the diamonds that we got to dig through and find and hustle for. And then there's the diamonds that we can find a little bit easier. And the diamonds that we find a little bit easier are a little bit more expensive. The diamonds that are a little bit harder to find that we got to dig for ourselves, arguably lower cost to find those diamonds. Now, I want y'all to be mindful. Again, a diamond is still a diamond. A lead is still a lead. I wanted to start with this preface because I think it's pretty normal and fully understandable that whenever a new agent starts in this business, and arguably sometimes even existing agents, right? It's easy for somebody to be there and be like, hey, I don't like this type of lead. Or you know what? I don't know if the leads are working. But argument could be made if we're looking at these two pictures. What do we see on the picture on the left? What is that guy doing with a pickaxe? He's working for it.
He's working.
He's hustling for it. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper as to the expectations, the appointments, the leads, the costs, and all that. And it won't take too long here. But I want y'all to be mindful. Leads are leads. There's nothing wrong with leads. It matters how we work them. And it needs to be fully understood as well. Regardless of which lead we have, there is a way to work a specific lead. There's a reason why on the LMS and HQ, we have training videos that show this is how you work a digital lead. This is how you work a bonus lead. This is how you work a mail-in lead. There's different ways to work each individual lead, but we need to understand that a lead is a lead, a diamond is a diamond. We're still going to be able to get a sale regardless of which direction we go. Now let's get into real quick, running out of time here. So let's get into real quick also the expectations of things, right? Now, put a 1 in the chat if you set 5 appointments last week, not this week, last week. And I want everybody to look at the chat and kind of like I do sometimes, I want both experienced individuals and new agents to look at this chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you set 5 appointments last week. Now, I want us all now, let's take a step further, put a 2 in the chat if you guys set 10 appointments last week. So that means we doubled the first one. So now instead of 5, 10, put a 2 in the chat if we set 10 appointments in the last week. Now I'm going to keep going a couple steps here, but I want you guys to be mindful. Be mindful of the work ethic that is needed just to set 5 appointments. Be mindful of the work ethic that is needed to set 10 appointments, right? Be mindful how many people in the chat that we're seeing were that person in the picture with a pickaxe. Now let's put a 3 in the chat if we set 15 appointments last week. We're not talking about presentations. We're not talking about sales. We're talking about just appointments. Now, let's keep looking at the chat. I want this to sink in for everybody. And now the last one that we're going to check here, put a 4 in the chat if you did 20 appointments or more. Now, let's be mindful, guys. When we're looking at these two pictures, and I'll pull them back up for just a split second again. When we are looking at these two pictures here, I want you to ask yourselves, what is it that we're hoping for? I'll do that little trick that Dave loves where I'm on the screen also. What is it that we're hoping for? Because this is an industry where it's very lucrative. This is an industry where we get to help families like crazy. But how many of us are hoping that we're going to find the right diamond on the right side of the screen versus how many of us are willing to search through our leads list and find that diamond in the rough? At the end of the day, the reason why it's recommended, and shout out to Dave because he loves saying this all the time. We set 15 appointments. We show pricing to 10. We try to sell 5. That's kind of like the miracle math that the Symmetry has laid out for us a bit ago. I tell everybody that I work with is like, hey, quite honestly, sometimes, especially in the beginning, maybe we're not the best at setting appointments. So let's aim for 20. And even if half of those don't show up, we still get to present to 10. But I want you to be mindful. The reason why these 4 keys are there, these 4 keys are bullet points, guys. How many of you guys, tell me in the chat here, let's put a random number. Let's say number 37. How many of you guys wish you had a better week last week than you did? Put a 37 in the chat. Random number. Wow. How quickly y'all type 37 is actually wild. I was trying to throw it off. So here's the thing. So everybody that's typing a 37 in the chat, I'm gonna talk to you directly here. We wanted to make sure, like, we wanted a better last week, right? Think about what number you typed a second ago as to the number of appointments that you set for each individual person that just typed the 37. And I want us to consider that there's 2 parts to this. There's the amount of effort that we're putting in, but it doesn't matter how much effort you put in if we do not have the right resources, guys. It does not matter the amount of effort that we put in if we don't have proper resources, and that includes having enough leads to call while simultaneously adding leads every week. Because how many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you're calling the same leads over and over, and slowly but surely more of them go in straight to voicemail faster, and you're calling over and over? Not for nothing, guys. How frustrating is that? Real talk. Every agent here, I don't care if it's Larry, Sean, Dave, me, Zach, Amber, let's say somebody newer, let's say Roderick. I don't care how new or how experienced you are. The worst thing ever is to call the same leads over and over again and get no new results. There is a reason why, if we want a fire that's strong and healthy, we have to consistently throw wood into the fire. You cannot expect to stay warm, to have a good business, if we're not adding fuel to our fire consistently. And that's the same equivalent of us adding leads on a weekly basis. That's the first part. The second part, we got to make sure that we have enough leads. I'll throw some simple math at you guys. Let's say we're triple dialing. How many leads do we need to triple dial to hit 150 dials in a day? Quick math.
50.
50, right? Now, is it a coincidence that if we go to the 4 keys under resources, full-time new agent with a full budget, and you know what? I will swap the screen sharing here just in case for some reason you guys don't have the 4 keys pulled up, or for some reason you don't have the 4 keys on your wall, which I highly recommend you should, quite frankly. But there's a reason. It literally says right there, recommended for full-time new agent with a full budget. Now you're just showing off. I can't with you. 50 to 60 leads. Combination of call-in and mail-in. Bonus leads, D through B. And if we look on the right side, it'll say, okay, full-time new agent with a low budget, 100 to 200 leads, call-in and mail-in, bonus leads, G through E. Now, what I want y'all to be mindful, what's the lowest number that we see on quantity of leads here? 50, right? So first of all, are you all triple dialing? The reason I say that, the older the leads, sometimes a little bit more persistent we got to be. We got to make sure we got that pickaxe digging for the diamond, right? As opposed to maybe when it's at the store. Now, as well, I want you to be mindful of this as well. Notice the quantity difference between the lead type. I want you to be mindful. Leads are basically at cost around these parts. You got to do a 4x math when it comes down to it on our resources. So if I invest $100 a week, how much can I, on average, with 4x math, expect as a return on investment? Somebody help me out.
400.
400, right? Throughout the month, 1,600 bucks. Now, what I see that a lot of people don't do, guys, we can reverse engineer the math. That's one of the great things about math. Let's say if our bills are $4,000 a month, right? And we need a minimum, and I'm going to stress this word, minimum of $4,000 a month to pay our bills. Let's do some backwards math. Okay, so $4,000 a month. Let's divide that per week. How much is that in a week? If we divide 4,000 by 4.
1,000.
8,000.
1,000, right? Now, let's take it a step further. Let's do that 4x math. Let's go ahead and take 1,000 and divide it by 4. What number does that give us?
250.
So it goes to reason. If I want to have an average of 4,000 return on my investment, I need to have $250 on my spending lead order. On my standing lead order or one-time lead order, however you wish to do it. Standing lead orders are recommended, but I need to have $250 on a weekly basis. Because here's the reality, guys. We do our math on 4x. You guys ever heard that saying, plan for the worst, hope for the best? Right? We do our math on the 4x. Fully understanding that, let's say, for example, some of these top performers out there, they're getting like 9x, 10x, 11x return once you develop that skill. But what I want you to be mindful of is if you were, and keep this number to yourselves, if you were to put yourself as effort and skill, give yourself a rating. 1 being, we're kind of trying, versus 10, we're giving it all we got. What number would you honestly rate yourself? And what I want you to be mindful, There's a reason why we do the math on the Forex, guys. There's a reason why. If you're a full-time new agent with a full budget, $250 to $300 is what's recommended. If we're on a budget, no worries. Resources versus resourcefulness can also kick in. Like, not for nothing, maybe we just got to find one friend or family member that we can help out, set that up, and now we got money to invest into leads. But I want you to be mindful. The math is there. The math is there to help us. In real talk, if we don't have enough appointments, maybe that's a combination of effort and resources. We need to make sure that we have enough people to talk to. We need to make sure that there's enough families to be helped and a consistent flow of new families coming in. Right? So at the end of the day, and I'm just going to switch back to this screen here. I want you to be mindful. How many of you guys want this to succeed? You want to make this a living. You want to make consistent sales, consistent money. Let me see ones in the chat again. How many of you guys want this to be as consistent as possible? Look at all these ones, new agents and existing agents. Now, as we're looking at this chat, now I want you guys to ask yourself this. How many of you guys believe, back to one of the cornerstones that we went over last week, how many of you guys believe that you can do this with the proper resources? Put a 2 in the chat. Look at the chat, guys. Look at the people that we're surrounded by. Now, on top of everything, and here's what we'll button it up and wrap up here. How many of you guys don't want to wait till next week? Type a 3 in the chat. Y'all see the chat? Y'all see it going? That means everybody here, and I'll stop the screen share on this one. That means everybody here wants this to happen. Everybody here believes they can make it happen. And everybody here doesn't want to wait till next week. So let's make sure that we got the right resources. Let's make sure that we put the effort. Let's make sure that we got our pickaxe ready and we search for that diamond in the rough. I have a personal saying, if I have 50 leads or less, I need more leads. If I have 100 leads or more, I got to work harder. Let's get that pickaxe out. Because there are diamonds waiting in that little lead pile. Let's get the diamonds. That's it. Hope it helps you guys. Again, this is the first key. We're going to be going through a different key every individual week when it comes down to it. Be mindful, we do have the whaling call at noon today. Do not miss that. If you don't have the link, reach out to your upline on that side. And then I want to say, who's tomorrow? Amber? Yeah? Okay. So tomorrow, Amber's going to kick it off with another one of the keys. Do not miss that. But yeah, guys, let's make sure that we just put the effort. Let's make sure we got the right resources, and not for nothing, guys. Let's get that money. Like I keep this background behind me so I don't forget to get that money. Real talk. The money's there, the diamonds are there, the leads are there. Find the diamond. That's it. That's all we got to do. Find the diamond. But all right.
Thank you,
What's up,
Jerome.
homies? Sorry, I know I get a little serious with these sometimes.
You got money that was coming out of you yesterday, out of your shirt.